My name is Moisan and I am the conservator here at Southampton City Art Gallery, and my area of specialisation is paintings conservation. I was trained as an easel paintings conservator. The Gabo Trust have had a connection with Southampton City Art Gallery for many years. They first visited the gallery, to my knowledge anyhow, in 2000 when a group of Gabo Trust trustees, I imagine, came down to Southampton to look at our collection and were very much taken away. They were really bowled away by the quality of the collection, and offered to. They were shown around by our then collections manager Tim Craven, but the Gabo Trust foolishly wrote us a lovely letter extolling the virtues of our collection, but also offering to give us some funding towards it. And I picked up on this very generous offer, and it led to our first Gabo Trust grant, which was used towards, through consultation with the trustees, the improvement of the small sculptures in the store, and that went towards funding some cabinets. And as a result of that grant, I was invited to an event in London, and I met Anne Elliott again, who was one of the trustees of the Gabo Trust. And she said there was a sort of series of sculpture surveys which were being carried out by Derek, conservators at that time, and she asked if Southampton would be interested in having a survey carried out on their sculpture collection. And it was a bit like asking the Pope if he was a Catholic. It was, what a wonderful opportunity, and we did have to go through a grant application process to do that, but we were very successful. We were successful and went ahead and had an audit carried out. So that was the second grant which we received from the Gabo Trust. Well, Derek and Jackie definitely flagged up further improvement of the sculptures in the store, and it was the larger sculptures now, the oversized sculptures, and so that was the main aspect that was flagged up. That there's been a conservator actually affiliated with the collection right from its inception. It's been quite interesting. It was sort of like there was a curator, a conservator, and an attendant, I think, almost. So there's always been a connection with conservation, relevance to conservation with the gallery, which is fantastic. But it has always been paintings conservation. The majority of the collection consists of paintings. But that's what it was, plugging a very good gap in our area of expertise. I mean, I have to say that Derek and Jackie were actually, Derek Pullen and Jackie Human, who carried out the survey, were very impressed to how well the sculptures have been looked after, and I suppose that's having that general conservation expertise. But I think one of the aspects of working with Ben as well that they were quite keen to do was to have a rounded area of expertise, because as the conservators we are supposedly meant to conserve everything across all of the collections, which obviously is not possible to do, but it's always good to broaden your knowledge, to be able to pick up perhaps slightly more straightforward treatments. We want to keep the kind of very specific treatments to the specific disciplines, but if there's kind of more general treatments that can be done, that's always very invaluable when you have limited resources.
So my name's Benedict Hall. I'm assistant conservator here at Southampton City Art Gallery. My background is in paintings conservation, and so partly as a result of funding from the Gabo Trust, putting the survey together, and then ongoing work with sculpture conservators Jackie Human and Derek Pullen, I've then carried out conservation treatments and storage improvements with them, advising me, so taking advantage of their expertise in understanding how to treat some sculptures, such as the collection of Dennis Mitchell bronzes that were donated by the George and Anne Dannett Trust, and so they're very highly polished bronzes that are very prone to acquiring figure marks through handling, even through gloves. So even some of the sort of most simple advice from Derek was, we end up handling them with 2 layers of gloves, so nitrile gloves to stop any moisture coming through, and then cotton gloves, which are kind of softer for handling the bronze, using storage boxes that can be transported directly up to the gallery, so the box can live in the store and then transfer up to the gallery and minimise the amount of handling of the sculpture itself. Yeah, well, we have quite a compact storage space here, and having them boxed as well as protecting the sculptures means that they're stackable, so they take up less space. And also having them up on feet means that we can get pallet trucks under them and move them around more easily and things like that. So they're more mobile and take up less space. One of the works that in the sculpture collection where we took advantage of the specialist sculpture expertise from the sort of ongoing projects as a result of the understanding we got from the survey was conserving a sculpture by Nicholas Monroe of Max Wall, who's the sort of musical entertainer, Nick Monroe being a sort of pop art artist. And it's 2 fiberglass figures and a fiberglass piano on a integral fiberglass plinth as well, all painted a particular shade of green in Dulux house paint. And Tessa Jackson, the sculpture conservator, assisted me with that. Somebody had unfortunately come into the gallery and mimed playing the piano portion of the sculpture, and one of the pedals on it had become damaged and had been previously repaired, but with Tessa's advice we improved the repair of the join of the pedals, and cleaned the sculpture and retouched some areas that had become abraded. And so yeah, the particular shade of green that he was painted was quite hard to match. So and get the particular, it had a very kind of soft sheen to it, getting the exact right shade of gloss to the colour as well as the tone.